Hello everyone, welcome back to the Human Reviews channel, and today we are starting the Led Zeppelin discography. That's right, we're going to be going from Led Zeppelin 1 all the way up to In Through the Outdoor, doing every single one of their albums in order front to back. The last time I did a full artist discography was the Radiohead series, and that was like a year ago at this point, and I've not done any full front to back discographies since. So I'm very excited to get into this one. The other thing that makes this more exciting is the fact that this one is a discography that I'm not familiar with at all. I had already heard every Radiohead album except Pablo Honey in full when I did that series. I've never heard a full Led Zeppelin album front to back at all. None of them, not a single one. I have of course heard certain singles of theirs, some of their like bigger songs I've heard, of course, like Immigrant Song, Stairway to Heaven, Whole Lot of Love, and also some songs I've been sent in on stream like Dazed and Confused, Ramble On, Over the Hills and Far Away. But besides that, I'm really not familiar with too much of their stuff. I have faith that I'm gonna like most of their albums. People who I tend to have similar tastes with really love their stuff. Both Fantano and Crocky gave Physical Graffiti a 10, which, you know, that's you know, Fantano giving something a 10 is like an immediate ticket to me liking it, essentially. And there's also the fact that me being a drummer, you have John Bonham on this, that instantly gives you brownie points in my eyes, because John Bonham is pretty cool, let's be honest. I don't think there's anyone on the planet who can deny that John Bonham is one of the GOATs. But yeah, anyway, that's enough for me yapping, okay? Today, we are starting, of course, with Led Zeppelin 1. Came out in 1969, 9 tracks, 44 minutes. Yeah, I think the only song I've heard on this is Good Times, Bad Times, but even then I'm not even sure if I've heard that. So, with that being said, Ringo's better for it. No, we're not bringing that fucking blasphemy into the chat today. No Ringo talk, okay? It's all about John Bonham today. Anyway, with that being said, Good Times, Bad Times. Oh, Spotify's doing the pausing things. Thank you, Spotify. Still haven't fixed that a week later. Oh, it's this, so yeah, I've heard this. In the days of my youth, I was told what it means to be a man. Do all those things the best. Okay, already, listen. John Bonham, his super fast double kicks on a single pet. Did you hear that? This man's feet are crazy. It's so cool. It's so cool. It's nuts. His feet move so fast. Oh, it's so quick to like that. I've heard this song already. I know I like this song. 16, I fell in love with a girl as sweet as could be. Good times, bad times. You know I've had my share. When my woman left home for a blind man. Oh, Jimmy Page produced this? This was produced by Jimmy Page. I didn't actually know that. Interesting. Okay. This song essentially feels like... This song is basically like the best introduction to Led Zeppelin possible. First song on their first album, and it's such a great display of everything that makes them as iconic as they are. You have Robert Plant's such a distinct, incredible voice. You have John Bonham with his fucking insane skills on the drums, particularly with this kick pedal. You have, of course, like the guitars going insane. The bass is fantastic on this song as well. This is just a great display of what the band have to offer, is what this feels like. It being the first song on their first album is so perfect. It makes so much sense. Listen, I get so much shit for saying that certain drummers like Ringo and stuff are overrated, but there's none of that with John Bonham. There is no overrating John Bonham, okay? Listen, this man can do with his feet what I wish I could with my hands on a drum kit. The speed of his right foot is ridiculous, and I don't know how he does it. He plays on a single kick what is expected on a double kick. It's nuts. John Bonham is a monster. Yeah, that song is just such an incredible introduction to this band. It's obviously not the first Led Zeppelin song I've heard, and I've heard it before as well. But yeah, as putting it in the context of the first song on their first album, being an introduction into what the band are. Does it get better than this? Probably not. I'm feeling like a solid 9 on this, like a 9.6, I think. This is as good of an introduction to this band as I could ask for, and the only thing I would say could bring it up is if the song was a bit longer, 2 minutes and 46. It's a good length for the song, but I feel like it could have maybe done with, honestly, even another half a minute to a minute. But yeah, besides that, no complaints. Good Times, Bad Times is about all you can ask for as an introduction to this band. Alright, I don't think I've heard any other songs on this album. Only Good Times, Bad Times. Next up we have Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You. No, I was talking about the previous song being too short. This one's nearly 7 minutes.
Baby, baby, I'm gonna leave you.
Oh, this one's a cover? Okay.
I'm gonna leave you.
Next 3 are over 6. Oh, damn, yeah.
Leave you when the summer comes along. Baby, 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 baby.
That was great. And really incredible explosive moment there. Not a cover, more like a rearrangement, yeah. The other big thing to talk about here is how amazing the recording of this is. This sounds basically perfect. 1969 this came out, and it sounds about 10 years ahead of its time in terms of recording quality, and that is so impressive. I'm always caught off guard by the fact that, like, again, Good Times, Bad Times, whenever I hear that song, I'm like, oh yeah, this came out in 1969. It sounds about 10 years ahead of its time. It's so impressive, seriously. They were just able to get the best, most natural recording sound possible, and the mix of every single element is absolutely stunning.
I know I never, 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 never gonna leave you, baby. Oh, baby, 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 baby.
Ooh, really nice bass sound as well.
We're gonna go walking through the park every day.
Makes it be from the 90s. I think this is my favorite thing about older music, is when they use their limitations to their advantage. It's the same compliment that I had when listening to Electric Ladyland, is using your limitations to your advantage. Like, with this, they are forced to get such a natural recording sound, and they have to find the right actual room setting to record everything in. Nowadays, you can get such specific mics with such specific effects where you can record drums anywhere and make it sound good. But here, they're forced to get a very specific drum sound. They're forced to get a very specific vocal sound as well. You can hear the echo of the room that Robert Plant is in while he's singing. And I think that it adds so much to the aesthetic of this. It adds so much to the energy that the song's trying to put across. And I feel like it's kind of what makes or breaks old music, is the way in which they use their limitations to their advantage. Because sometimes they don't. Sometimes it just sort of feels like certain care was not put into that aspect, and it ends up sounding too sloppy. But here it sounds flawless. Modern music has a tendency to sound fabricated. Not necessarily. I wouldn't say fabricated. It just, a lot of stuff feels a little less, I don't know how to put it. I feel like yeah, that was pretty incredible. I'm gonna get my one minor issue with that song out of the way first, and that's that I feel like the pacing of that song is maybe a little bit off. I do feel like nearly 7 minutes was a bit much for that song, but outside of that, I really think that was just as incredible as Good Times, Bad Times. Yeah, they take the sound in a completely different direction on this song. It's a lot more dark, it's a lot more grand in presentation, it feels much more sweeping in its stakes, and I think that that's put across absolutely incredibly from the very ominous, very almost haunting acoustic guitar to these insane walls of noise on the more explosive moments. They feel like such a great payoff for the slower moments on this song. And I will also say that despite the fact that I do have some pacing issues, I feel like the length does sort of help to bring the very grand presentation of this song to its fullest potential. Shit's pretty fantastic. The entire band are just locked the hell in throughout this, particularly Robert Plant on this song. His vocals are just absolutely breathtaking on this song all the way throughout. The rest of the band are doing a great job as well, but it really is Robert Plant that steals the show on this one. Yeah, that I also loved that song a lot. I'm feeling like a 9.3, 9.4, somewhere in that range on that song. That was pretty fucking fantastic, I believe, is the term I would use to describe that. Next up we have You Shook Me. Also 6.5 minutes. The harmonica in here. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest, this song is probably going to end up being my least favorite so far based on this intro. This feels like it's the most difficult song to get into so far. I appreciate them going for a bit of a slower start on this one. A more like sort of it's a lot more like feels like stagnant, sort of marching towards something. It does feel like a bit of a pace killer at the beginning here. It just sort of feels like the song isn't really moving any way that feels like it's like actually progressing towards something, if that makes sense. It just sort of feels like it's dancing around the same thing right now without really going anywhere. These keys are nice. Crisp sounding filler. Yeah, it's like the best filler imaginable. Okay, that's kind of cool. Nice fills from Bonham. I feel like the solo is pretty interesting still. This song has its moments. It really does. Okay. That is some awkward call and response. Great transition into Dazed and Confused. Yeah, that song didn't really do much for me. Listen, the first two songs are absolutely incredible. Okay, fucking two mind-blowing songs, and then you get one that's just kind of okay. It's an incredibly talented band with great performers just doing a song that isn't great, in my opinion. Actually, I could do a bit more for me. I've already heard Dazed and Confused. Dazed and Confused is amazing. Yeah, that song just moved way too slow. It didn't... What in that song warrants 6.5 minutes? Considering how slow it moves, considering how sparse any of the changes are, it just kind of feels like doing another 6-minute song for the sake of it. And look, again, the performances are still stellar. There's some great fills from Bonham. I think that Jimmy Page's guitaring, is that the right word? Guitaring? Jimmy Page's guitar on this track is amazing. And there are still some great vocal lines from Robert Plant on this one. It's just such a pace kill after the previous two. And yeah, it doesn't really feel like it works all that well for me. I'd still give it like a flat 6. I think it's still in the positive because of how good the performances are, but I'd never come back to that, and if I was listening to this album casually, I'd probably even skip it. Not sure of the circumstances of this album's creation, but there's definitely some filler. The highs are very high there. That's the main thing I've heard about this album, is that the highs are incredible, but there's a lot of stuff in here that does feel like the band just sort of figuring themselves out, which I'm fine with. Again, I don't think You Shook Me is bad by any means. It's nice to see them sort of figuring it out, learning how to pace a song, learning how to make something that sounds good. The first two songs are incredible, but yeah. I'm fine with there being some filler in here. So it's only their first album, you know, they're still figuring it out. Next up we have Dazed and Confused. I've heard this song, it's amazing.
It's
true, the two songs are the exact same length. This album's pretty great so far. Two incredible tracks, and then one that I'm just not too crazy on. Then we got another incredible song here. They're doing pretty great for a debut so far. See, this is a really great burst of energy coming after the last one.
Every day I work so hard, bringing home my heart and pain.
Nice, the call and response with the guitar and the drums, that's sick. Such a like full, thick bass sound as well, really nice. A lot of these sounds are kind of nuts for a song that came out in 1969. This is real experimental shit right here, you know what I'm saying? Damn. Oh yeah, the cover is so striking. Having the Hindenburg be your album cover, such a powerful image to put on an album cover. I actually don't know, can I use that in a thumbnail? Am I allowed to use the Hindenburg in a thumbnail? Surely, right? Great triplet fill. The Hindenburg is copyrighted by Disney, yeah. Such a great guitar tone. Like, there's something so metal about this. It's not like a metal song necessarily, it's more hard rock. But they have just such a metal energy. Oh yeah, you can definitely see how Black Sabbath would have like taken notes from this. It feels like this sort of is laying the groundwork for where some of that 70s metal would go, particularly Sabbath, yeah. But like in the guitar tones, to be specific. Yeah, it feels very much like this sort of was a stepping stone into metal, which is pretty cool to see, honestly. Seeing like where a lot of these sounds sort of come from. Sludgy minimalistic riffs, yeah. That song's a 10, to be honest. That is easily the best so far. That is... I think it's actually a perfect song. I don't have any notes, any complaints. I think that is just such an incredible use of its incredibly long runtime, 6.5 minutes. Fucking fantastic guitar tones that sound like they're sort of, again, laying the groundwork for what metal would go on to do in the 70s. I think that some of John Bonham's best drumming on the album up to this point has been on this track. Robert Plant's vocals go fucking nuts on this one. And not only that, the different sections of this song are all great. You sort of go into this slowed down section that has like the call and response with the drums and the guitar and the vocals as well, and you get some really nice triplet fills going on throughout it too. The bass tone on this song, fucking ridiculously good for a song that came out in 1969. I don't have any complaints. Dazed and Confused. I've heard the song before, haven't really re-listened to it since I was sent it in, but I remembered bits and pieces of it. It's more incredible than I even remember. It's an easy 10 right there. Oh, I'm 100% going to do Paranoid. That could be the next discography. How many Sabbath albums are there? LP... Oh, 19. Oh, that's a few too many. We're not going to do a full Sabbath discography run through, but I want to listen to their self-titled Paranoid Master of Reality. and probably Sabbath Bloody Sabbath as well. Definitely not a full discography. That's 19 albums. First 6 Sabbath albums, yeah, their first handful, and then maybe some of the later ones. Next up, Your Time Is Gonna Come. Listen up to Sabotage. I can do some Ozzy Osbourne solo stuff as well, yeah. That could be fun. Sabotage, yeah, that's their first 6. They can do their first 6. That'll probably be fun. We're in church, yeah. We're actually being inserminated by Led Zeppelin. This is crazy. Inserminated, not the other thing. Jesus Christ. I know exactly what you're thinking of, damn it. You're currently at church watching human reviews while at church is crazy work. You're not joking about that. I respect it. I respect it. Presenting human reviews to the Lord himself. Really pretty acoustic guitar sound on this album as well. Really nice, almost like rootsy sounding group vocals there. That's really sweet. Damn, that's catchy as fuck as well. That's really nice. Is this one a cover? This one feels like a cover. Not in a bad way. I think this is a great cover if it is. But I get the impression of a cover from this one. It's not a cover, damn. I'm out here providing the wrong info. Whoa. Crazy transition. Your Time Is Gonna Come. Nice track. Very, very sweet. Not the most impressive so far. Like, especially in comparison to like the first 2 and then Dazed and Confused. But I think that's just a solid, fun, catchy track. Some nice, almost rootsy sounding group vocals on there. Catchy melodies from Robert Plant as well. Instrumentals on that track are also fantastic still. It's just not quite as memorable as some of the other tracks, but that's okay, you know? It doesn't need to be the most standout, incredible thing ever. With a first album, having some songs that are just kind of like quick, little immediate bangers like this that, you know, I wouldn't really come back to as much. It's not really something I can complain about. Give that one like a high 8, I think, like an 8.7, 8.8. Still great, still really, really fun. Just not quite on the same level as some of the other amazing tracks on the album up to this point. There's also a lot of mention of time in the titles of these songs. You got Good Times, Bad Times, Your Time Is Gonna Come, and then How Many More Times is the closer. I don't know if that's meant to like be symbolic of something, or if it's just the songs have time in the title. I don't know. Black Mountainside. Looking like this one's just an instrumental. Yeah, we're doing their whole discography. And we're doing it as like a series, so we're going to be, over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be like just working our way through it. Very interesting percussive stuff going on this one. Trad Irish folk song regime. That's pretty cool. I haven't actually listened to it. I've heard bits and pieces of it. Terrible. Black Mountainside. Nice. Actually very sweet interlude song. Lots of very satisfying sounds, tons of cool shit going on with the percussion, really nice riffing on the acoustic guitar as well. That was just a very satisfying 2-minute instrumental piece that I feel like fit really well in context here. I'm feeling like an 8.3, 8.4 on that one. Really, really nice. Again, not the most impressive thing, but it doesn't need to be. It's just a little interlude piece. And I think it's pretty cool to have in here. And I think it does add to the aesthetic of this, and it does serve the flow of the album pretty well. Communication Breakdown. Oh, this feels very Sabbath. This one feels like it could even be a Sabbath song if you just made the production a little bit thicker and put Ozzy Osbourne on vocals. Early punk rock. It does have kind of a punky energy to it, yeah. Vocals on this one are nuts. Great solo. Incredible backing vocals, yeah. Okay fade out. Not crazy on it. It's nice though. That's a very fun song. I'd say that's probably the most fun song on the album up to this point, actually. 2.5 minute little burst of energy, which works as a really nice, I guess, bounce back in terms of pacing after Black Mountainside. The riffs were heavy. The solos were very, very fun. The vocals were going nuts on that one. Bonham brings an almost like punky energy to that track with his drumming. Yeah, that one definitely feels like it could be a Sabbath song. Again, give it thicker production, a little bit more of a grimy guitar sound, and put Ozzy Osbourne on vocals, and I think that you could have an actual just straight up Sabbath song on there. You could see how they took inspiration from that one in particular. I'd give that one, I think, like a flat 9. I fucking love that one. That was amazing. I Can't Quit You, Baby, up next. I heard that and my mind instantly thought Crazy Train. It fucking sounded exactly like the beginning of a Crazy Train there. Just that first note he hit, yeah. We got a more swingy one here, okay. Oh, the structure of this is interesting. The heavy moments feel like they're sort of intruding on the song with how tiny that bit was. That's kind of cool. Very cool effects on the guitar. Again, very impressive the sounds that they're able to create considering when this came out. Really nice resonant drum sound as well. How big was the kick that John Bonham used? I'm actually going to look that up real quick. He used a Ludwig Speed King bass pedal. I don't care about what pedal he used. Oh, it's a 40... Oh, no. 26 by 14. That is a big fucking kick drum. And the fact that he is able to play so fast on it, that's not hard with a big, that's not easy with a big kick. It's very difficult, in fact. It's difficult to get that speed on like a smaller kick with more rebound anyway, but then getting that on such a big one where you're not going to be getting too much rebound, that is impressive. Next Zeppelin now, Marbury. We're just going to go in order, so it's going to be Zeppelin 2 after this. I like that he uses a bigger kick though. It gets a much deeper sound that like punches straight through the mix. Complements the bass really nicely as well because it's a lot deeper and more resonant. Like that, see? Those little doubles that he's adding, that's not easy to do on a single pedal. Especially with a kick as big as that. 26 by 14 is crazy. Yeah, same way I did the Radiohead reactions, except now I'm not making it just Zeppelin albums. We're gonna have stuff breaking all of the albums up. Oh, this one's a cover? Okay. Great transition. Oh, super jazzy, Jesus. Damn, I thought that previous song was working in some jazz elements. We're going straight into fucking actual jazz at the beginning of the next song, it looks like. I Can't Quit You. Another great song. Man, this album is just front to back heat. Besides You Shook Me, which I wasn't crazy on, this album's been nothing but fucking heaters. I'm surprised by how much I'm liking it. I went into this new and I would, at the bare minimum, like this album. But based on a lot of the stuff I'd heard from people that, like, it's a good intro, but there's a lot of filler in the album, and it's just sort of them figuring it out. It feels like they already have this shit figured out, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is really great. That song in particular, working in some more, like, jazzy, swingy elements in a very tasteful way. The explosive moments almost feeling like they're intruding on the song. Not in a bad way. It sort of feels very intentional. And not only that, that song has some of Robert Plant's best vocals on this entire album, easily. Particularly at the end there where he's going into the super high register, doing the fucking crazy shouty voice. His singing is, like, probably my standout for this album. Either that or John Bonham, which, you know, I'm biased because I'm a drummer. Like, having John Bonham in your band when I'm a drummer is just such a fucking OP thing. It's just like an easy ticket to get me to like your music because I can just focus on that and love it. My favorite song so far, easily Dazed and Confused. Dazed and Confused, if this last song is better than Dazed and Confused, then this is going to be like the best shit imaginable. Okay, because Dazed and Confused is a crazy, like, perfect song. I Can't Quit You, Baby, I'd give an 8.8, I think. Another great track. I don't think it's, again, quite on the same level as a Dazed and Confused or like the first two or anything like that, but still, another great song, regardless. No real complaints about it. How many more times? Last song, 8.5 minutes. Let go. Straight jazz on this one. Keeping time with the upbeats on the stepped hi-hat there. This is straight jazz.
How many more times treat me the way you wanna do?
Great little fill there.
I love, please.
Into Sabbath again? Kind of, yeah. Whoa.
I give you all I've got to give.
Bonham's going crazy with the fills on this one. He's like adding them every other bar. Yeah, this is the Bonham solo song essentially, which I'm not going to complain about. Cool. Giving him like a little marching section as well. That's nice. Pokemon battle theme, yeah. I love how melodically he's using the toms. Instead of just like doing the generic thing of going like straight down or straight up, he's using them to like match the melody of the track. Ringo could never. Ringo did some cool melodic shit with his toms. Band chemistry and stuff. Oh yeah. It's basically a group of the people who are the best at their instruments. They know they're the best at their instruments and they just have fun with it, you know? So it's Robert Plant, Jimmy Page, Bonham, and then what's the other guy's name? I forget. John Paul Jones. There we go. Okay, I wasn't looking at the lyrics. You are right. I got a little schoolgirl and she's all mine. I can't get through to her because it doesn't permit, but I'm gonna give her everything I've got to give. I can't believe I forgot John Paul Jones' name, like one of the most iconic bassists of all time, and I forgot the fucking guy's name. That's the unfortunate truth with a lot of these like 60s, 70s, 80s bands. When you look into their history, it's just kind of like, ugh, you know. Great film. Ooh, that's cool. Completely changing the rhythm of the song there just with the stepped hi-hats. Led Zeppelin copy Radiohead, exactly. I straight up, until I looked on the album of the year for this album, I didn't know that Jimmy Page produced this. I had no idea. Legit, no clue that Jimmy Page was a producer. It fucking blew my mind. I was like, yo, that's crazy. That's a pretty fantastic closer, to be honest. Such a fitting way to end this album. In the same way that Good Times, Bad Times feels like a great display of talent, being like, hey, here's what we have to offer. That song feels like you get the full progression, and it's like, yeah, you thought that was what we had to offer. We're going to just ramp that shit up to 11. That song essentially felt like the entire band soloing for 8.5 minutes. Jimmy Page, John Bonham, Robert Plant, and John Paul Jones. All of them just soloing for 8.5 minutes. Who's a better drummer, Bonzo or Bonham? Bonham. Not even close. Not even by like this, like a tiny. Not even close. Bonham is the better drummer. Fucking hands down. Ringo 100%. Leave that blasphemy out of this chat now. Okay, again. Ringo is good. I've never said he is bad. I don't fucking put words in my mouth like you people normally do, damn it. But no, Bonham is superior in every way. The Ringo hate continue. You insinuated it, motherfucker. This isn't my fault. Enough yapping about who's the better drummer, because we all know what the truth is. How many more times? Fantastic closer. Seriously. Incredible shit. So fucking good. It feels like the entire band soloing for 8.5 minutes, particularly John Bonham. He gets some really sick fills, some nice like swingy shit that he gets to do on the album, implementing some of his jazz influences, and also of course bringing in the amazing rock drumming, even hints of what would become metal drumming at certain points as well. It feels like all of his best aspects being put onto a single song. Same with all of the other band members, but him in particular. Yeah, that was just 8.5 minutes of the most satisfying riffs, the coolest drum fills, the most tasteful bass lines, and some of Robert Plant's most infectious vocals on this entire fucking album. A nearly spotless song in my opinion, seriously. It is just such a wild ride front to back, and such a fitting closer for this album as well. I am very impressed that they were able to stick the landing as good as this. I'm feeling a 9.8 on that song. Very, very good. Yeah, that was Led Zeppelin 1 by Led Zeppelin. This album exceeded my expectations. I went in thinking I was gonna like it, but come out with a handful of songs that I wasn't too crazy on. But honestly, it really was only You Shook Me that I ended up not being that crazy on. Everything else felt like a necessary piece of the puzzle. It felt like a really great display of the band's technical talent and ability to write songs. And it also is so impressive considering the fact that this is a debut, and they already have this shit mastered, basically. The recording of this is fantastic. The songwriting is really, really sharp. I think that all of the performances are fucking top notch. It feels like 4 people who are the best at what they do just sitting down and having fun is what this album feels like. But it also feels so, I don't know, it feels so well groomed. It feels so sophisticated at the same time. They are able to make songs that just feel like all 4 members just soloing in their own way, but also have it feel so calculated and meticulous at the same time. And I can only imagine that being more the case as we get further into their discography. Like, I can't wait to hear what Physical Graffiti sounds like, you know? People fucking love that album. I'm so excited to get to that one in particular. But even Zeppelin 2 and 3 and Houses of the Holy as well, I just get the impression that this is going to be a band that, outside of their last couple albums that I know people aren't too crazy on, I feel like the quality is only going to be, you know, fucking skyrocketing to the moon with each further release. John Bonham peed in his seat while on a flight, drunk of course, and forced Richard Cole to change seats and sit in his seat. That's kind of based. This sounds pretty amazing. Pretty fantastic. Very, very happy with this. And very excited to now be in the Led Zeppelin discography. Very excited to be into it. I am going to add up the scores real quick, and then I will tell you what my overall score for this album is. Wait, really? Hold on, I'm going to count this again. That seems a bit low. Hold on. Interesting. I thought it would be in the low 9 range, but no. I'm feeling an 8.8 out of 10 on this album. Honestly, it's a little lower than I thought it would be. I was expecting this to be in like the low 9 range, but still a great fucking album. I mean, for a debut, getting a high 8, that's pretty impressive, especially for a debut album from the 60s. Like, I have notoriously not been crazy on debut albums from the 60s, like the Beatles and, what's it called, the Beach Boys as well. Like, both of their debuts are, like, some of my least favorites that I've heard from them. But no, this Led Zeppelin debut, pretty fantastic. A pretty great display of talent and a great introduction piece to this band. And I literally cannot wait to get into the rest of their discography, particularly to get to albums like Zeppelin 3, Houses of the Holy, and Physical Graffiti, of course. Yeah, thank you all so much for watching this video. Let me know what you think of this album down below. How does it compare to other Zeppelin albums? Do you think it's a debut? Do you think it's a debut? And which album are you most excited for me to get to? Let me know what other albums you'd like me to listen to down below as well. Links in the description to my Discord, my Album of the Year, my Twitter, and my second channel as well. Check those out if you haven't. Make sure you like and sub if you haven't as well. We're on our way to 2K. And yeah, I'll see you all whenever I next stream or upload. Bye bye.